Today, I want to talk about something that every single one of us needs to hear, remember, and live by. Never give up. Life isn't easy. There will be times when things go wrong, when plans fall apart, and when we feel like we're running out of strength. But it's in those moments when you feel like quitting that your true character is revealed. Success doesn't belong to the smartest, the richest, or the most talented. Success belongs to the one who refuses to quit. To the person who falls 7 times but stands up 8. Every great success story is built on a foundation of persistence. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter changed the world. These people weren't lucky, they were relentless. When you commit to never giving up, you unlock a power within yourself that no one can take away. Challenges become stepping stones. Failures become lessons, and doubt becomes fuel. So no matter what you're going through, whether it's in school, work, sports, or life, keep going. You're stronger than you think. You've made it this far, and you're not done yet. Never give up, because your next step might just be the one that changes everything. Failure is a step forward. Failure is often seen as the end of the road, a sign that we're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. But the truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every time you fail, you are actually taking a step forward, whether you realize it or not. Why? Because failure teaches. It reveals our weaknesses, exposes our blind spots, and pushes us to grow in ways that comfort and ease never could. Think about how we learned to walk. As toddlers, we fell down more times than we can count. But no one told us to stop trying. We got back up again and again, and eventually, those falls, those little failures taught us balance, coordination, and strength. We walked because we failed. In school, we learned through trial and error. A wrong answer isn't a dead end, it's a redirection. It shows us where we went off course and how to get back on track. The same applies to life. Whether you're starting a business, pursuing a dream, or learning a new skill, failure is simply feedback. It tells you what didn't work so you can figure out what will. Some of the most successful people in history faced massive failure before they ever tasted victory. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. These failures weren't ends, they were beginnings. They were powerful turning points that forced these individuals to reflect, improve, and come back stronger. Failure also builds mental toughness. It teaches you how to handle disappointment, how to adapt when things don't go your way, and how to keep going when everything in you wants to quit. It humbles you and strengthens you at the same time. When you embrace failure as a stepping stone instead of a stumbling block, you start to view challenges differently. You stop fearing mistakes and start seeing them as opportunities. Opportunities to learn more, do better, and grow wiser. So, the next time you fall short, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What can I learn from this?" Because every failure is a lesson wrapped in pain, and those lessons are priceless. They shape your mindset, sharpen your skills, and move you closer to success, one step at a time. Persistence builds strength in a world that often glorifies instant success and overnight achievements. It's easy to forget the power of persistence. Yet, if there's one quality that separates those who reach their goals from those who fall short, it's not just intelligence or talent, it's the ability to keep going, even when the going gets tough. Persistence is what builds real strength, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Strength isn't something you're born with, it's something you earn. And it's earned in the moments when most people would quit, in the early mornings, late nights, and countless setbacks that challenge your will to continue. Every time you choose to press on instead of giving up, you're training yourself to be stronger, more determined, and more resilient. Think of persistence like building a muscle. You don't grow stronger by lifting a weight once. You grow by showing up day after day, pushing through discomfort, enduring pain, and choosing not to stop. The same principle applies to life. You become stronger every time you continue despite frustration, fear, or fatigue. That's how mental endurance is formed, not in comfort, but in resistance. Persistence also builds discipline. It forces you to stay focused on your goals, even when distractions, delays, and doubts get in your way. It teaches you that progress isn't always fast or visible. Sometimes you're growing behind the scenes, building grit, learning patience, and developing character. And often, that inner strength becomes your greatest weapon. Many people give up too soon because they expect quick results. But persistence reminds us that success is rarely immediate. It's a slow climb, not a sudden leap. The journey is long and demanding, filled with detours and disappointments. But those who stick with it, who keep climbing, are the ones who reach the summit. Why? Because they've built the strength to last, not just to start. Another powerful aspect of persistence is that it silences the voice of doubt, not immediately, but gradually. Every time you choose persistence over giving up, you're telling yourself, I can do this. I am capable. I am strong. That repetition rewires your self-belief. It turns insecurity into confidence and fear into fuel. And let's not forget, persistence is contagious. When people see you pushing through, they're inspired to do the same. Your determination can spark strength in others, in your friends, your family, even strangers. Your struggle becomes an example, and your strength becomes a source of hope. Ultimately, persistence isn't just about reaching a goal, it's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't back down, no matter the odds. It's about forging a mindset that can face storms, climb mountains, and endure darkness because you know that strength isn't given. It's built one hard moment at a time. Belief fuels action. What we believe about ourselves sets the foundation for everything we do or don't do. Belief is the engine that drives action. When you believe you can succeed, you are far more likely to take the steps necessary to make it happen. But if you doubt yourself, if you think you're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough, then even before you start, you've already planted the seeds of failure. Belief is powerful because it shapes your mindset, and your mindset controls your behavior. If you walk into a challenge believing you'll fail, your effort will reflect that assumption. You'll hesitate, hold back, or avoid taking risks. On the other hand, if you walk into that same challenge believing you have what it takes, even if you're not perfect, you'll step up with confidence, try harder, and stay in the fight longer. That belief becomes the difference between giving it a try and giving it your all. Think about every major breakthrough in history, whether it's scientific, athletic, or personal. It all started with someone believing something others didn't. Belief gave the Wright brothers the courage to test their flying machine, despite constant failures and widespread skepticism. Belief gave Serena Williams the drive to push through grueling training sessions and intense competition to become one of the greatest athletes of all time. They didn't succeed just because they had skill. They succeeded because they believed they could. Self-belief also has a way of turning challenges into opportunities. When you believe in yourself, you stop seeing obstacles as dead ends. You see them as problems to solve, puzzles to crack, and chances to grow. You take action because you trust that even if you don't know the answer right now, you'll figure it out along the way. Belief also strengthens your ability to persist. It gives you a reason to keep going when things are hard. It whispers, you're closer than you think, when everything around you says to quit. That inner voice, that core belief, it can't be faked. It has to be cultivated through small wins, repeated effort, and a commitment to prove to yourself that you are capable. Importantly, belief doesn't mean arrogance or pretending you have everything figured out. It means trusting your potential. It means acknowledging your fears but not letting them stop you. It means having faith in your ability to learn, grow, and overcome. Too often, we wait for external validation, for someone else to tell us we're good enough, talented enough, worthy enough. But true power comes when you stop waiting for permission and start believing in yourself. That belief doesn't make things easy, but it makes them possible. It shifts your focus from limitation to opportunity, and when that happens, action becomes inevitable. In the end, belief is the spark. It's the thing that gets you moving, keeps you motivated, and turns a distant dream into a reachable goal. Every champion was once a beginner. When we see someone at the top of their game, a world-class athlete, a best-selling author, a brilliant entrepreneur, it's easy to assume they were always destined for greatness. We see their success, their confidence, their skills, and think they were born for this. But what we often forget is that every champion was once a beginner. Every expert started out knowing nothing. Every master of their craft was once clumsy, unsure, and inexperienced. The beginning is where all greatness is born. It's where raw potential meets hard work, where dreams are fragile but full of possibility. No one starts out perfect. In fact, most people begin with more failures than wins, more mistakes than mastery. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. The successful ones kept going. It's tempting to compare your beginning to someone else's middle or end, but that's not a fair comparison. You're not seeing the years they spent practicing in silence, the countless times they failed behind the scenes, or the moments they doubted themselves and still chose to continue. What you're seeing is the result of relentless effort, of growth that came one step, one attempt, one day at a time. Starting as a beginner is not a weakness, it's a rite of passage. It's the first crucial stage of any journey worth taking. And in many ways, it's the most courageous stage. It takes bravery to try something new, to risk embarrassment, to not be good at something and still show up. It takes humility to ask questions, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. When you embrace the role of a beginner, you open yourself up to growth. You allow yourself to absorb knowledge, to build habits, and to gain the experience necessary to improve. The beginner's mindset is powerful, it's open, curious, and unburdened by ego. It doesn't expect perfection, it expects progress, and that progress, no matter how small, compounds over time. Look at any champion's story and you'll see a common thread. They started small. They started scared. But they started. Michael Jordan didn't make his high school varsity team on his first try. Albert Einstein struggled in school. Even Mozart, hailed as a prodigy, spent thousands of hours practicing before he composed his most famous works. Their greatness wasn't instant, it was earned, so never be ashamed of being a beginner. Every stumble, every misstep, and every moment of uncertainty is shaping you into the person you're becoming. Being a beginner means you have the courage to start. And without that first step, imperfect as it may be, the journey can never begin. Success takes time in a fast-paced world where everything seems to happen instantly, from food delivery to viral fame. It's easy to develop unrealistic expectations about how quickly success should come. We're constantly bombarded with highlight reels of people achieving great things, and we begin to believe that success should be fast, easy, and smooth. But the truth is, real success takes time. It takes patience, consistency, and a long-term mindset. The road to success is rarely straight. It twists, it turns, and often doubles back. There are delays, detours, and disappointments. Progress can feel slow, and results can seem invisible, but every small step forward matters. Every hour you spend practicing, every lesson you learn from failure, and every day you keep going even when it feels like nothing is changing, is building the foundation for long-term achievement. Think of success like growing a tree. You plant a seed, and for a long time you see nothing. You water it, care for it, protect it from harsh conditions, and still nothing visible. But beneath the surface, roots are growing. A support system is forming, and when the time is right, that little seed breaks through the soil and begins to rise. The growth may seem sudden, but it's the result of time, patience, and consistent effort. The same is true for your goals. Some of the greatest achievements in history were the result of years, even decades, of quiet, dedicated work. Vincent van Gogh created over 2,000 pieces of art, but only sold one painting during his lifetime. Colonel Sanders was rejected over 1,000 times before someone agreed to franchise his now famous chicken recipe. These people didn't give up because things took time. They kept going because they knew success wasn't about speed, it was about persistence and belief. Success that comes quickly can be exciting, but it's often fragile. It hasn't been tested by time. On the other hand, success that is built slowly, brick by brick, setback by setback, is much stronger. It's built on real experience, deeper understanding, and inner strength. It's sustainable because you've earned every inch of it. One of the biggest traps people fall into is giving up too soon. They expect instant progress, and when it doesn't come, they assume they're not good enough or that it's not meant to be. But success doesn't operate on your schedule. It unfolds in its own time, and usually only after you've proven that you're willing to wait, to work, and to keep showing up, even when the results are slow. Patience isn't just about waiting, it's about trusting the process. It's knowing that even when you can't see immediate results, something meaningful is happening. You're growing stronger, you're becoming more skilled, you're preparing yourself for the moment when the breakthrough finally arrives. So, when progress feels slow and you're tempted to quit, remember, all good things take time. Real success is not a moment, it's a journey, a slow, steady, and worthwhile journey. Your story isn't over yet, no matter how many times you've stumbled, how many mistakes you've made, or how far off course you feel. Remember this powerful truth. Your story isn't over yet. Whatever chapter you're in right now, whether it's filled with hardship, regret, failure, or confusion, it's not the final chapter. It's just one part of your journey, not the whole. We all go through seasons when life feels heavy. When plans fall apart, relationships end, opportunities slip away, and we feel stuck in a place we never intended to be. It's easy in those moments to feel like we've reached a dead end. We tell ourselves that it's too late, that we've messed up too badly, or that things will never get better. But life is not a straight line, and your path doesn't end just because you hit a rough patch. One bad chapter does not define the whole book. Just as a powerful novel has twists, setbacks, and unexpected turns, so does real life. And just like in those stories, the most memorable characters are the ones who endure, adapt, and rise after falling. In fact, the strongest, wisest, and most inspiring people are often those who have experienced pain and kept going. They've learned that strength is not in avoiding difficulty, but in moving through it with courage, even when hope feels faint. When we face difficult times, we often forget that growth is happening in the background. You may not see it and you may not feel it, but you're being shaped. Every challenge you face is carving out a deeper part of your character. Every setback is building your resilience. Every moment you choose to keep going is proof that there's more to your story, that your journey is still unfolding. It's also important to realize that your past does not have the power to determine your future unless you allow it to. Whatever mistakes you've made, whatever you regret, you have the ability to write a new chapter. Change is always possible. Growth is always available. You are not bound by who you were, you are empowered by who you can become. And as long as you're still breathing, you have the ability to turn the page. Some of the most successful and admired people in history reached their greatest achievements later in life or after major setbacks. Inspiration for others often, when we're in the middle of a personal battle, pushing through pain, facing failure, or choosing not to give up despite everything we think it's all about us. We feel alone in our struggle, isolated in our hardship, and we believe that no one else could possibly understand what we're going through. But what we may not realize in those moments is that our decision to keep going is quietly inspiring others. Our courage, our resilience, and our refusal to quit become a powerful example even if we don't see it immediately. Whether we know it or not, people are watching. Friends, family members, teammates, coworkers, and sometimes complete strangers, they notice how we handle adversity. They see how we rise after a fall, how we stay calm under pressure, how we keep working when results are slow or absent, and when they see us persist, something sparks in them. They think if they can do it, maybe I can too. That spark can ignite hope, fuel motivation, and give someone else the strength they need to keep going in their own journey. Inspiration doesn't always come from loud voices or public victories. Sometimes it comes from quiet endurance from someone who shows up every day with discipline and determination, without applause. It comes from a parent who works 2 jobs to support their children, from a student who studies relentlessly after failing a test, from an athlete who keeps training even after an injury. These acts of perseverance, though they may seem ordinary, are extraordinary in their ability to influence others. We often underestimate the power of our example. We think we need to be perfect or have it all figured out to inspire others, but it's our flaws, our setbacks, and our ability to rise from them that make us relatable. No one connects with a flawless hero. People connect with someone who has struggled and overcome, someone who shows that it's okay to fall, and more importantly, that it's possible to get back up. And sometimes the people we inspire the most are the ones closest to us. A younger sibling who sees how we navigate failure. A friend going through a rough time who draws strength from our persistence. Even a child watching a parent fight through life's difficulties learns resilience not through words, but through example. Our endurance becomes their blueprint. There's also a ripple effect. When you inspire one person, they may inspire another, and that second person might go on to influence someone else. One act of courage, one decision to not give up can echo far beyond your own life. It can change the atmosphere around you. It can uplift your community. It can even contribute to a culture where perseverance is celebrated and resilience is normal. So, when you're struggling, when progress feels slow, and when quitting seems like the easier path, remember this: your fight isn't just for you. It might be the very thing that someone else needs to see in order to believe in themselves. You are living proof that it's possible to go through hard things and come out stronger. You are a story unfolding, and your story might just be the inspiration someone else needs to begin theirs.